Hello everyone and welcome to a new video. MC-Mura here, and in today's video I wanted to talk about the 5 things that Street Fighter V did wrong. In a previous video I talked about the 5 things the game did right. Now it's time to talk about the missteps of Street Fighter V, and before I start I want to make 2 things very clear. The first one is that I'm gonna be talking about stuff that are in the game now, issues that are currently in Street Fighter V. So for example, we all know that the launch of Street Fighter V was a disaster, we all know how that was handled, but I want to focus on the now and the issues that are currently in the game, right? So that is the first thing. The second thing is that this is coming from a place of love, right? Even if I'm being overly critical of the game, you know how big a fan I am of Street Fighter in general, and all of this is for hoping that Street Fighter 6 would be as good as it could be, and hopefully we can avoid these issues in the future. So let's get started. Let's start first with by far the biggest issue with Street Fighter V, and that is the netcode. The netcode in Street Fighter V is very inconsistent and it is very frustrating. Now the issue with it is that sometimes the game actually works really well and you can have a good experience online. Because Street Fighter V uses some form of a rollback netcode, when it works it's actually really good. Now the issue is when it doesn't work or when something is wrong, it is horrible, it's absolutely intolerable. And this game has so many issues, from excessive rollback. Oh, and by the way, Street Fighter V have one-sided rollback. So sometimes the game may be unplayable to you, but to the other guy it's completely perfect. That happens in this game. The game also features some slowdown, so some matches will feel underwater. It also sometimes straight out eats your input online, which is mind-blowing. You know that you pressed something but nothing comes out. It just doesn't register and your input doesn't matter. It is an extremely frustrating experience, and there are 2 things here that honestly annoys me more than anything. The first one is when Capcom adjusted the netcode in the March 2020 update, they actually released the status for the connection. They finally told us what 5 bars mean, what 4 to 5 mean, 3 to 5, etc. And they said that the response time for a 5-bar connection is less than 20 milliseconds. So they are saying that a 5-bar game is a 20 millisecond ping. Fine. If you consider 20 milliseconds to be 5 bars, fine, I have no issues with that. What I have issues with is that in Mortal Kombat 11, one of your competitors who is also using rollback, I have had matches in 120 millisecond ping that played better than your 20 millisecond ping. How is that even possible? And the other aspect is that in their follow-up game Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite, they actually fixed the netcode and it was amazing. If you ask anyone who played Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite, some of them will complain about the roster, some will complain about the mechanics. You will not find a single human who played Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite online that will tell you anything bad about the netcode. The netcode in Marvel Infinite was amazing. So how is Street Fighter V left in this status is honestly very frustrating and just very annoying to me. Now moving on aside from the actual netcode and to the rest of the online experience, and in my opinion it's also very much lacking as well, both in terms of features and the execution of the features that are there. Now in Street Fighter V now there are ranked matches, casual matches and battle lounge. And that is simply extremely bare bones. When you consider that Ultra Street Fighter 4 and Street Fighter Cross Tekken, they had team battle, they had tournament mode, they had online training mode, which is a very big omission by the way, and they also had the ability to invite your friends over to a lobby and also make them watch a replay with you. So imagine that you had some really cool match, you saved the replay, you could invite your friends over to a lobby and discuss it with them and talk about what just happened and maybe discuss strategies. None of that is in Street Fighter V. None of these options are available. There is very little contact or way of contacting the other players in Street Fighter V. In Street Fighter 4, we had voice chat, we had the option to simply look up the profile of the opponent and message them through the platform, whether that was PSN or Xbox, but that doesn't happen in Street Fighter V. It's very difficult to actually talk to someone in Street Fighter V. You have to go through hoops to reach someone in Street Fighter V, and that is simply not good enough. And what is there is again also lacking. Battle Lounge is also one station, so like let's say we have 8 people in a lounge, only one fight will be going on at a time and the rest of the players are waiting. Why can't we have multiple stations per lounge? I don't get this. And the ranked system, again, I have already talked about how much I dislike the ranked system in Street Fighter V. In fact, I have made an entire video about it before. I will be leaving it in the description so you can check it out. But I just wanna say that the suite of the online features in Street Fighter V is bare bones as it gets. The next issue I wanted to talk about is the current state of the PlayStation 4 version. And obviously before I get into this, I first wanted to let you know that I am someone who actually played this game for years on PlayStation, from day one of the very first beta all the way until November of last year. I've been on PlayStation before finally moving over to PC. And I obviously expected some of the stuff on PC to be better. I expected better graphics, I expected better resolution, less input delay, faster loading times. All of that stuff is to be expected and I understand that. However, there are certain aspects to the PlayStation 4 version that are simply not good enough in my opinion. And again, I'm not a tech guy, I'm not gonna tell you that I ran my tests and this game drops X frame on Y stages and all of that. I can't tell you the number, but what I can tell you is my first hand experience and the feelings that I had. And obviously I can't be the only one who played this game on a base PlayStation 4 and had lag when I fought on any stage other than the grid. I can't be the only one who had lag when I fought against a Ken online and he activated his V-trigger and the game started lagging. I can't be the only one who fought against M. Bison online and actually when he activated his V-trigger the game started lagging. I can't be the only one who experiences these issues. And what's funny is that these issues are not existent on PC. When I'm fighting against the same exact people that I played against on PlayStation under the exact same network conditions, how am I not getting these issues on PC while I was getting them all the time on PlayStation? The same exact player using the same exact internet connection. And you can even see that in my win rate. Like my win rate shouldn't be 10% up because I'm on PC. That is insane. That is legitimately insane. And I'm not blaming this on the PS4 itself or the hardware. Honestly, I think the blame here is on Capcom. That is my honest opinion. The people on PlayStation, they deserve better. They deserve the game to run better in my opinion. And if the game is supposed to be competitive and we are supposed to have crossplay, both of the players should have equal chances of competing, right? Again, I'm not gonna tell you the exact hard numbers, I'm just telling you my first hand experience based on what I had and what I had been going through for years with the game. Now the next issue I wanna talk about is mostly focusing on the casual players and the first time players, and it is the stupid fact that the general story mode of Street Fighter V is not actually in Street Fighter V. Now I've gotten this game from Steam. I bought it as the Champion Edition because it is the all-inclusive bundle, right? And let's say that I went from the main menu, I checked out and hey, there is a story mode. And what is the first thing you do when you are trying out a new game as a casual? You check out the story mode. This is what I did for Mortal Kombat 11, it's what I did for Tekken 7, I go and check out the story mode. I find out that the general story option is grayed out and the game is not even telling me how to play it. It's not telling me that's DLC. So then I will have to look it up online and then find out that it's DLC and I will have to download it. Now put yourself in the shoes of someone who didn't know any of this. How deflating and how frustrating and off-putting would that be? You finally downloaded the games and downloaded all of the updates and all of this garbage, only to find out that the actual story mode, the first thing that you will naturally check out, is not there. In my opinion, this is a destructive level of incompetence, and it's a very shameful oversight that they need to fix as soon as possible. Now let's talk about a couple of the gameplay aspects of Street Fighter V that I am not a fan of, and I typically don't talk about the aspects of gameplay that I don't like. If I like the game overall, I would like to focus on playing around them, so this might be the first time you are actually hearing me talking about the gameplay aspects I don't enjoy. And the first one for me is the dash speed. I think 15 and 16 frames for dashes are quite ridiculous in my opinion. I think they are way too fast and covers way too much distance. If I was designing the game, I would make 17 frames the fastest. And another issue with dashes is that many of them are not even animating well. When you have something like Nash or for example Cody, it feels like the character is standing still but is just sliding across the screen, which makes them harder to react to than they actually need to be. So dashes are a big issue in my opinion. The second issue is YOLO attacks into V-Trigger activate being plus on block. I think this is an awful design choice. For example, moves like G's EX dash punch, Balrog's throwing whatever he wants into V-Trigger activate, Bison doing slide, EX zonk. I would even go as far as to say something like Ryu or Thess doing sweeps into V-Trigger activate, into plus frame. I don't like any of that. I honestly don't like any of that. What I would make is that for any attack that is actually unsafe, if you happen to cancel into V-Trigger, you're pretty much kind of making it -3 or -4. So for example, if Ryu is doing sweep V-Trigger activate, I would make that -4. Learn to hit confirm the V-Trigger activation. I would give more opportunities to activate V-Trigger on a hit confirm and make all of the on block to be negative or at the very best safe. I'm honestly not a fan at all, especially since some of them are actually almost very hard to play against, right? For example, when G has the EX dash punch ready, what are you gonna do, right? You're just standing there still waiting for him to do it, hoping that you'll have V-Trigger to V-Reversal, and if you don't, you'll pretty much have to hold the mix-up after the activation on block. That's a very bad design choice in my opinion. The final aspect of the game that I'm really not a big fan of, and this has more to do with the balancing, and it is the fact that most of the rushdown characters have also the best defensive options, while also having amazing neutral, and I feel like that is crazy good. Like when you really think about it, Cammy, Karen, Rashid, these characters obviously have amazing rushdown, while also having the 3 frame, while also having the EXTP, some of them have corner escapes, almost all of them have side switch combos, and then they also have amazing neutral. And this is what is leading to many characters like Rashid, Karen, Seth, Cammy, etc. to be good for years. No matter how much they nerf them, they will always be top tiers because the characters are designed with tools they should not have. In my opinion, Rashid should not have a reversal. Karen should not have a reversal. If you have all of the options in the world, why do you need to have the best defense as well? I think that is kinda busted in my opinion, but hey, that is just my opinion. Obviously feel free to disagree. If you have enjoyed this video, please leave a like or a comment. Let me know what are your pet peeves with the game. Again, obviously this is coming from a place of love. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Thank you very much for watching and stay safe.